Okay. Hello. Okay, so I am live now, and I am pulling up, hopefully, there we go.
Hey.
Yep, okay, it is going through, thank goodness. Let me just pop out the chat. I just had to make sure there was some, oh, right, duh, I keep forgetting about, minimizing the window. It's not very intuitive to do that this way. But thank you for joining, Sagrato. Yeah, okay. Appreciate everybody who's joining the stream. Anyway, so, normally we're SunnyRedemption sailing, but this is Halo Infinite, so, we're branching out.
SunnyRedemption shooting today,
Yes,
I guess.
I'm more interested in shooting things. I don't know why. There's a lot of stuff where people are shooting each other in the world, but I want to shoot as a Spartan. That's fun still, right? That's allowed? Okay. Anyway. So, I guess just invite me to the game, and I wanted to give you a few minutes anyway to check out the options that are available to you. You know, to see which one you wanted, because I threw a lot of different things at you, but the stuff that's new is actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the new map Elevation, so I'd be interested in trying that out at least.
Yeah, and tomorrow I'm interested in trying this out via GeForce Now, because remote gaming to my PC for this stream was a pain in the neck. For no reason. I don't understand any of it, but, anyway, so do you want to do Elevation 24/7 as a warm-up?
Yeah, let's try that first.
Sure, I really love that. Even though I had some frustrating matches last night when I played it, but, like, this is gonna be a blast. Because the low gravity is really, really cool. I love the low gravity. It's so nice and refreshing to have low gravity Halo, because it definitely changed up my tactics and made me on my toes more than anything that I've ever played in Halo history.
Guys, there is one map in Halo Reach with like a low gravity section,
yeah.
But yeah.
See, this is why I'm glad I'm talking about this with you, because you're such a Halo nerd. You're like the biggest Halo nerd that I know.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it's one of those space station maps. Yeah.
It did not. Well, that's okay, because now everybody could just mod everything into the game with Forge, so...
King of the Hill.
Yeah, so yeah, I've actually
I'm gonna be pretty rusty.
GeForce Now is pretty stable.
Yeah, I've heard good things about GeForce Now. Never really tried it.
Microsoft is letting everybody eat their lunch because they're like, we want to keep all the lunch for ourselves, but we'll be called gatekeepers if we do, so we have to give up some things. They probably didn't want to have to give up, like, Xbox exclusives. For, you know, eternity. Like, Sony probably is doing with their stuff. Oh crap, I am just super tired. I had a productive day, but, also, really enjoyed Halo Season 2, Episode 1 so far.
Cool. Yeah, I still need to watch more of Season 1. I watched the first episode a little while back.
Yeah, you definitely need that context, I will say. I will just say, because I can describe them in terms that you'll appreciate, it feels more like Halo in the first episode than it ever does in Season 1. But
the first episode of Season 1 was, like, okay, but I just watched it and went, okay, I'll probably get back to this at some point, and I just haven't.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there are only so many heartbeats in our lifetime, and there's so much that actually needs our attention, and TV that doesn't click with you is not it. Like, I tried out the Rookie and the Good Doctors 6 and 7 respectively, and I don't know, the magic is just gone for me. Oh! From the grave and the yard sale! Ha!
Nice.
Stuck it to him! Whew! Well, I forget that I'm live streaming, and this whole thing will go up on YouTube tomorrow on my channel, which is DC Shepherd 682 for some reason. I was dumb about YouTube, but I didn't expect to be very successful, and I get like 5 views there, but I appreciate anybody who wants to see the whole thing if they missed it. Of all the Halo shenanigans we're gonna get into tonight, because I am fairly confident that we'll get an hour of really entertaining gameplay out of Halo Infinite now. It's very sufficiently developed at this point, I think.
Hill controlled.
Like, that's my thinking anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I like what was there at launch. It's just, you know, it did get a little stale after a while for a few months there. They've definitely ramped it up.
They had good insurance.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Don't get me wrong, I'm glad there's more content, because even with a game that I have thoroughly enjoyed like this, there's only so much that you can play of it in a row before you get tired of it, no matter how good the content is. And so, like, it becomes imperative then to add new content at some point. But I think people have to be more willing to accept that developers are human beings and are not going to be pumping out content on your demand always. But if we give people the time, they'll make quality content is hopefully what we're getting out of all of this, and not the video game industry is collapsing. It just means that the same tired gameplay formulas are getting tired, and those gameplay formulas are probably gonna be gone. It happens. And the digital storefronts have essentially made gaming immune to death. Well, at least the various facts that we have various digital devices that we get bored on and then play games on.
Enemy team took the hill.
But, well, I quit that part because it was freemium nonsense at that by the time I was really into gaming. And then I just decided to get a console, and that's fine. Like, everybody who's on consoles, your consoles are not going to explode. There will still be plenty of great games for your consoles. They may just not be exclusive for as long because we need to make money at this point. And the unit economics of Game Pass are not working, so... I mean, they tried to cover it up for a while with all these optimistic projections, but Game Pass is not going to move the needle by itself. Not at this stage. Not until the Call of Duties and the Diablos and the Crashes and all the other stuff comes at a more consistent pace. That's what will sell the service, and because Xbox is the only hardware that's plugged into a TV that we know of yet that will do that. Or maybe it's a handheld, I don't know. But well, I certainly will still like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I did kind of miserable that match. I was still getting used to the map. You want to do at least one more on that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, okay. I'll do as many on any of these modes as you want. I have some Forge things in mind, but I'm sure we can get plenty of whatever you want to do. You know, try that's new.
I do want to try some Forge and custom stuff, but I think tonight, just because we're a little limited on time, might just want to do some playlists.
Yeah, that's very fair.
If you're cool with that.
Yeah, playlists are totally fine. So Forge could be like our next adventure.
Yeah.
Focus on that. Yeah, I would be totally down for that. I mean, I don't.
And I just haven't played this game in a little bit, so.
Well, there's so much to talk about, and yet it does seem to like it'll fit into an hour. It's only the future of Halo, discussing between two people who really like Halo. Me, a medium Halo nerd, who's like, I'm not gonna read all those books. I'm sorry, it's just a lot of books.
No, I mean, even I dabbled in the books.
I have a giant pile of shapes still.
I haven't tried to read one in like 15 years, so.
But like, There's
'Cause
plenty
I
of good
remember I
Halo
read the
media.
Reach book before Reach came out. That was the last one, so that would have been like
Uh.
09, 2010. That was probably the
Yeah,
last
I
one I
can see
read.
that. Well, for me, I think I read one in the library, but it didn't really stick with me. A lot of library books from high school that I read in high school don't stick with me. What a surprise! But you know. Also, I often read Mad Magazine because I was like, I really like the bright colors. And also because of the funny political messages most of the time, at least for me. My humor was largely formed by Mad Magazine. It's a shame that they're toast and that cracked is a shell of its former self, but anyway. Speaking of things that are shell of their former selves, RoosterTeeth,
Oh yeah, I saw that. I have not kept up with them in over a decade, but still, you know.
No.
Sucks.
Why are we even here? I believe is the paraphrase that I can come up with right now with the quote while playing this game, but still, I hope they release a commemorative Red vs. Blue pack in honor of RoosterTeeth, because a lot of the relevance of Halo in popular culture was because of RoosterTeeth and Red vs. Blue. That first season was like comedy gold, and that's indisputable. I don't remember what season I dropped out of it because there were so many of them, and by the time I did, it got so serious. It was like, oh my god, you're not telling a... It went from telling a satire to trying to tell a compelling story, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that approach did not gel with me.
Yeah. I forget, like, I kind of dip in and out of times of it. I definitely watched the earlier seasons. Then I remember around college I watched some seasons, or whichever one was new at the time, and then, yeah, I haven't watched it in like a decade.
But even when RoosterTeeth was at its peak in power, I watched Achievement Hunters mostly, because I wanted to feel like the cool kid who knew somebody who had a cool older friend who had an Xbox 360, because my family had a Wii at the time. You know, my mom made the purchasing decisions for the family when it came to video games, and she decided to get a Wii, and that was great. We loved the Wii. I just always missed out on Xbox 360 experiences, and so I actually am very glad that Xbox has a very solid backwards compatibility effort. That could get bigger after the Game Pass editions start of Activision. Like, one last tranche, please, of official Activision games. I would very much like to play Singularity on a modern device. And my laptop is no good at that sort of thing, so that's why I'm trying out GeForce Now. I actually don't know, is Singularity on there? I'd have to check. I have it on, I own it on Steam, so that's not a problem. Honestly, this is what cloud gaming should be. It's just like, hey, I would like to access my purchases somewhere else. Thank you very much. But like...
Oh, someone got me from somewhere somehow.
Well, I guess the convenience of it will be the undoing of game ownership. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the cloud stuff, is I like plenty of aspects of it, but I definitely don't want to see it become like the dominant mode of gaming, for sure.
And I hope any government, the competent people, let's just say, to not get too political on this show about Halo. Well, I'll address that in a separate thing with my audience. They know what I stand for and what I believe. And so I'll talk about that.
From who knows where.
You know, but anyway. So, yeah, I think, honestly, for this game, it's in a good place, and having it be accessible by more players is no bad thing. So, you've done properly like this, though the disc copy of Halo Infinite is worse than useless. Wow, that guy really spun around. Because most disc copies are do not contain the whole game. I mean, Microsoft warned us about this with PC games. They did that first with the product keys and and the multi-discs. But we just sort of did it because we knew computer software was licensed and not sold. That was what we were told over and over again, is you do not own the software, and it made sense, because, well, who owns a copy of the same thing, is part of the problem. And why it's so hard to solidify game ownership, but discs are the best that people can hope for a lot of the time, because they're hard copies of things. And I do think that the government should require hard copies, like maybe digitally signed SSDs. I could see it. That would be very portable. Still be tradable. Maybe a little bit less bad for the environment with like old SSDs that are dead and don't really need to serve a purpose except for storing games that can be updated and rewritable. That would be my preference. But I'm just a huge tech nerd, and that would be like, if I was the person designing the future of consoles, I would be like, yeah, rewritable game media, please. So that people can keep it. Like, I don't know. I like keeping things sometimes. And I've started collecting physical shows just slowly and within my budget. I.e. using Amazon return credit. Because I got a book that was about the French Revolution that was that had a dinosaur with a person's head on it instead of anything to do with the French Revolution. But that short fiction book is good so far. He's been a very busy person. Anyway, oh, did he fall to his death? Oh no, that was a very clear fail. I was not paying attention because I was hoping that guy had fallen into space and I would get the win. But this is my first real mistake of the night. It's gonna happen. Anyway. I mean, like, discs I bought with my console. They allowed me to feel like I had earned something. Sure, I took out a lot of store credit card debt to fuel that, which is now gone. But, like, that was me being a college student. It was like, oh, I finally have an Xbox, so I'm gonna get a bunch of games for it. A youthful mistake, you know, but one that's ended up saving me from buying games later down the road because I was just like, oh, I have this gigantic backlog of shame. In digital and in physical and then digital form once I sold that off in order to pay for a lot of it. But I kind of wish I hadn't, because I have the space now, and I just have to worry about my stuff. I'm single, so you know, like I have space for my stuff. But well, getting new to physical games is a once in a while kind of thing, obviously, and I've barely played many of the games that are there because I'm doing other things now. Ah, crap! Oh, that just happens sometimes! Oh, I'm dead. I like the way that your character's body, flops down towards the planet and bumps against the space station violently. Yeah. You're, like, very happy at that point that you're dead and can't feel a thing. That's what I would say. Like, nope, okay. Oh, crud! I invited that again too soon, but there's a gravity hammer dude running around.
Yeah, they also have rockets, so look out.
What if every time we, lose, we have to pick a different game mode? Something like that.
Try that.
I think that would be fun.
Okay.
Okay, well, a friend got the gravity hammer now, so hopefully we can start to even the odds. Inserting Arkham music sting here.
Yeah. Oh no! I didn't even see where that guy was. Oh, he was over there.
Also down. What? No, that was a 3-piece on our friend.
Yeah.
What?
That was probably the match right there. We were catching up a little bit, but oh well.
Well, you know what?
I
Sometimes
was like
you just
really
meet those
watching my
god-tier
corners.
Spartans.
I was watching my corners, and then he came out from somewhere else.
I can still blame the map being new for a while, right? Like, am I allowed to do that? Is that?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate excuse for being terrible? I mean, no. I usually like to go positive, but this isn't a new map. You know, people are learning strategies, and you know, don't be embarrassed if you.
All right, I'm gonna grab the gravity
one.
hammer.
Because this map is really good. I have to say.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying
like this
playing
map better for Slayer than King of the Hill. King of the Hill, I tend not to like very vertically oriented maps like this.
Why is that? Just
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like it, especially when it switches hills, it just throws me off sometimes. Like that hill that was in that bottom center that one time. It's just like I just found it very difficult.
My brain is just like go hill. You know?
Yeah.
I also like more vertically oriented shooters. You know me. I like my Titanfalls and my
Battlefield. The layout of this map reminds me of like an Unreal map or something. Huh. There were Unreal maps that sort of had a similar setting.
I never played Unreal, sadly, but I did play. Well, defeat means we have to choose a new mode. We are immediately retreating like cowards.
We caught up towards the end. We were down by like 10 or 12.
Yeah, you know what? That was a pretty honorable defeat.
Could have been worse.
So, like, okay, I will say in this little intermission phase while we're figuring out the next mode, with your choice, but this is just the rules that
let me see.
Because I'm not the leader, but I can, of course, suggest.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably a big team. I haven't done big team in a long time.
Yeah.
I know they've rotated in some maps to this too that I haven't played yet. Some Forge maps.
Interesting. Huh. Well, yeah. Let me know what you want to do whenever you want to do it.
Oh no!
Okay,
No!
just was confirming that I could sign in to Netflix on my PC. Because you know what, I'm glad I got the Blu-rays of the complete series. The Eternity in the Auto Memories Doll special and the Violet Evergarden movie for $20 has a 4K Blu-ray. It is going to look absolutely gorgeous when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be amazing.
Yes.
So, anyway. Just go with the flow tonight, and the world is too hard right now to do anything else. But
CTF. It's like a Valhalla type map. Looks like it.
Halo's future is looking pretty solid. Maybe that's why Microsoft will be not so willing to let it go to PlayStation without like a veritable massive thing in return. Like,
yeah, I definitely feel like Halo would be the last bastion or the last holdout.
Yeah, because that's a box-defining thing. That would be Microsoft admitting defeat. But they would get... but basically it would be a trade for your king. Spider-Man.
I guess, but like, I feel like that's a little strong because like...
Okay, maybe
they've already admitted defeat in a way, if you want to put it in that sort of terms.
No, I mean...
But it's like...
It would be admitting that there's no race anymore, because there's no anything anymore. That's different. It's just Microsoft...
It would be another
which is
level...
Fine.
Yeah, it would just be another level beyond what they've already committed to.
Right, I mean, like, they've already put it on everything on PC, so it basically... Xbox is basically the Surface laptop tier OEM. And it's no coincidence that now Microsoft is putting their flagship PCs, their laptops, their Surface laptops... Oh no, so Laptop Pro 6 and Surface something. I lost track of the Surfaces a while ago. They're
Surface
not a
Duo, maybe?
thing. No, that was
Or
canceled.
that was the phone. Yeah, that's right.
Enemy returned their
Yeah,
flag.
I stopped keeping track of the
our
Surface
flag.
line a while ago, and I think Microsoft did too, because they were like, we don't know what to do with this thing for a bit. But then they were like, oh, let's put AI on it. That's their big idea. And you know what? Good for them, I guess, but I kind of sympathize with Elon Musk's argument about OpenAI basically being Microsoft's buddy-buddy. Like, it's a little bit close for comfort at this point, because that gives Microsoft the lead, and they're already a leading software company, so that they just cement their lead there, and by the time we know about it, Microsoft AI has taken over the world, and it's too late. Just kidding. That probably won't happen. It's autocorrect on steroids. That's it. Like, it's bad for the planet at the current pace, no matter how much Microsoft tries to get it. But it's probably going to be in everything, in everybody's work laptops, and like, we're all doomed to have AI on our stuff, whether we like it or not, because it's extracting value out of Moore's law. So this is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with an AI update. With everybody just getting AI on laptop or on phone.
They have our flag. Take
That's
it back.
just, it's game over. There's AI
They have eyes on the enemy flag
stuff,
carrier.
whether we like it or not.
Enemy captured the flag.
But yeah, so that's Microsoft's play, and it does bother me a bit that Microsoft has grown so big, yet is like, I guess they're trying to be nice, seem nicer about it to avoid regulator ire, because they don't want another lawsuit. But like, they bought Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda to make exclusives. That was their original pitch to people. And now they changed their course. That's fine, that they can do that. They're a company that wants to make money. They understandably have to do that for some of their older exclusives. I'm not bothered about that in the slightest. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. I still have it on this box, and I have all these memories with it. Like, who cares that Grounded is going to PS5? That just means I'll be playing with my PS5 fans, you know? Like, yeah, that's totally fine. It's just that, like, let's not think that Microsoft did this out of the goodness of their hearts. They were trying to avoid regulatory scrutiny. And I don't know how I feel about that when there's so many companies that have so many things that are trying to, like, tell you what you can and can't do with your data. That's just kind of annoying to me. And so, like, the Apples of the world are trying to claw on to for a little bit longer, because did you see? They're like, we'll give you a chance to opt out of the core technology fee.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if you decide to change your mind,
Take it back.
we can go back to the original terms. Apple's starting to sound like Darth Vader. Like, pray I do not alter it any further.
The enemy carrier has revealed himself.
Oh goodness. And yet, I really do want a Vision Pro 3 or something like that, because it would be an amazing laptop.
An ally
But
captured the
do I
flag.
support Apple at this present stage? I mean, honestly, maybe the iPhone 15 Pro is the last Apple purchase I ever make, and I just get an Android at some point and free myself, because the government is going to eventually make it impossible for Apple not to allow you to port over your data. It's common sense, right? Like, interoperability? That's what technology used to be about, wasn't it?
Enemy returned
Thank you for
their
joining for
flag.
my short videos, Lucas, by the way. Anyway. But I mean, like, I wouldn't mind Halo on PS5, it's just that, you know,
Eyes on the enemy flag carrier.
I kind of don't want the port begging. Like, it's gonna be the... Reddit is gonna be clogged with, oh, can you this game please come to PS5?
They've
Like,
taken our flag.
yes, okay, we hear you. We're considering PS5. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like, I'm still bothered by the way people were like, Xbox has no games. Like, it made me feel like an idiot for buying an Xbox, and I can't entirely, you know, let that go just yet. But like, there are plenty of well-behaved PlayStation people, and I never got personally like attacked by anybody, which is, you know, fine, because I barely played a multiplayer with anybody on PlayStation. I bought the PlayStation Plus Premium to see how that game catalog is, and it's not for me.
Keep your head down.
Spider-Man 2, like, if I had been on Xbox, I would have played it in a week, but my entire gaming habits changed because of Quick Resume. That's what Microsoft should have marketed. It's just like, hey, you can bookmark your game and come back to it later. People get that, right? I would hope. It would be an easy selling point, which apparently Microsoft has failed to settle on. Oh, back smack! Get shreked. Anyway.
Alright, well, still a close match. Oh, someone's... Oh, we had their flag for a sec. Okay. Oh, we do. Okay. Try to help them.
Okay, anyway. Oh, hello, Outlaws for Life, by the way. Thank you for joining the stream. Anyway. We're not doing so great in this one either, but you know what? I'm kind of rusty with Halo Infinite anyway. So, hey, warm-up is good. We still have an hour, and we'll get plenty of matches of whatever we feel like that'll sharpen our skills again, so that next time we can be Halo gods. Once more, just kidding.
Coming in with the flag. Just gonna start sprinting.
You know, like her. Okay, well, oh crap. I was hoping for a couple afterlife kills, but no. Fail. Oh well.
Someone can get them. Coming around with theirs.
Yep.
An ally returned our flag.
Got it. Alright. Tie game.
Well, maybe not for long, because I just got the rushdown hammer. Hey, we tied it. Cool! And now you're dead.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes. I can. This will certainly do. Especially if I put it on the back. No, I have to ride in the mongoose. I could use the support, but
There's a vehicle coming around. Hopefully they'll help you.
Oh, I guess I reveal myself. Oh well. But I'm gonna pick up the threat sensor.
Threat sensor acquired.
Okay, there we go.
They know where you are.
Okay, I'm riding to the Warthog. Get me out of here! Woo! Okay. Come on.
I
Yes.
see you guys.
Keep driving. Keep coming back with the machine gun. Thank you so much. Oh, all right. Actual team coordination in Halo. Yay. Oh, we don't have our flag back yet, do we?
I thought we did. Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Nice.
Winning flag capture. Yeah.
We both had to capture that match, so we helped quite a bit there.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? What am I doing just playing around with the controls when I can just do the objective? But I happened to spawn next to a gravity hammer, and that made it a lot easier. And then waited for a vehicle, and that was a very valid way to win in Halo. Somebody could have easily hit us with a rocket launcher and stopped our journey, or found another vehicle, because, you know, the map is supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
So it's not overpowered, but anyway.
Yeah. Let's do another big team, because that one went pretty well.
Sure, yeah. I'm cool with that. Hang on. So this is amazing. But I'll have to tell it to you later because I don't want this one to be the political show.
Okay.
It just the State of the Union is going on right now, and I'm such a huge Constitution nerd that I really like State of the Union, and so I recorded it, and we'll watch it and give my thoughts on it to my audience. That's just my pitch to people who want to stick around with me and follow me for that sort of thing. Thank you for joining. Ohms? Okay. Just doing that will get you the ability to play tomorrow night on GeForce Now with me. So I would appreciate that. I want to try that out, and with people who have, I don't know, PCs. I'm sure there are plenty of people, because there are plenty of people enough who are like, just get a PC, dude, on my TikTok pages. And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm starting to think I'm being bot attacked by comments, because people say the same stuff again over and over again in the really negative stuff to like stoke people's anger over console war stuff that doesn't matter. It's the same stuff. If like I'm like PS5 is better at this, or if I like Xbox's UI better sometimes. Please don't eat me. But people eat me. I don't understand why. Like, that's not my jam.
Yeah, that sounds obnoxious.
Is it ever? But I manage it because, well, at the end of the day, these people are just sound and fury signifying nothing. You know, I'll buy the box I like, you buy the box you like, and we play together. Like, that sounds like a pretty good future for consoles to me, because it acknowledges that the console industry is past growth. I mean, at this point, it's a stable market. Like, the people who are going to buy consoles are the people who are going to buy consoles. It's usually... The thing is that it's like... At this rate, it's probably a millennial dad. With too much money, who wants to spoil his kids rotten for Christmas with Xbox Game Pass so they can play all the games they want. That's a perfectly, like, new-ish customer base, and that's where they tried to do that, but those parents, like, buy the console once. And console sales tend to plateau after a few months. That's just the nature of the business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the problem is that, well, I mean, most of the people who casually buy these boxes bought them for Hogwarts Legacy, and what else? Was like the really big selling game of this generation, like Resident Evil 4 remake, Dead Space remake. A lot of remakes, still, because the remakes bring in necessary money to continue the company's existence. At an easier development effort in an attempt to, well, I guess also preserve things, but... Okay, the only way I'm pulling the trigger, for my own financial responsibility, on the Battlefront Classic Collection is if you are.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm kind of like borderline on that one.
Okay,
I guess I'll
then
probably
hold
wait
off.
and see and make sure. I'll make sure it's like in a state, I guess, probably. It plays well enough.
I have a bunch of games already. I just bought Stalker. Call of Chernobyl. Sorry, it's hard to recall these games' names while being shot at.
The purple pack they just put out, right?
Right. Yeah, the classic trilogy to this.
Shadow of Chernobyl.
I wanted to get your thoughts on some of the. Yeah, wait, okay, so what are your thoughts on those?
Stalker games? I only ever played Shadow of Chernobyl.
Oh, you only played the first one?
Yeah, and I never finished it. It's very, very intense.
Well, I'm fine with a different /intense experience. Perhaps fighting in this post-apocalypse will help me, see gaming differently. Because I'm kind of tired of being the most powerful person in the video game world.
Yeah, when I played it was just like, okay, this is a little bit too, like, I don't want to say sim-ish. I guess maybe that's the word for that. Like, it's too, like, it's very oppressive game design, I guess. Which I'm okay with in a lot of cases, I just wasn't really feeling it in that game.
Well, it's important for me to investigate whether the transition control-wise to consoles. Because...
Yeah, I wonder how they work on consoles.
If the console port works well with the controls,
It's pronounced Mr.
I can take the time to learn the game. I've done it before. I've beaten BioShock on hard 4 times at this point, and was on a Survivor New Game Plus run, but I was still overpowered because I knew everything about everything at that time, or I thought I did, but like, I mean, I probably didn't unveil every secret, but I played this game like 6 times in a row at one point, and had the iOS version and the Switch version, and like, that was after I had played the 6 times though, so I was like, okay, you know what, maybe, I'm not feeling very bright and rosy about the future of BioShock with the current one that's supposed to come out in a few years, always being potentially a few years away.
Yeah, like that game's development, just extrapolating from how many times I've heard it's going to be unveiled soon and how many times it hasn't been unveiled. I'm very curious about what that game ends up being at the end of the day.
BioShock games, though. Basically, I think I understand Valve better now. Because as much as I love the BioShock games, it according to the Clockmaker song, it counts to 3. I'm probably getting that name wrong, but again, trying to keep an eye out for enemies and doing this. This is usually why I like to do the talk show format in Sea of Thieves, because it's usually calmer than this, but, well, I'll just be bored for a couple of hours and be creative that way. That's what we should all do, because a lot of us are compelled to look at screens all day for work. Oh boy! No! Don't explode on me! Okay. I lived. Oh, crap. I did not understand that was behind me, but in my defense, how could I have? Also, my death pose is sick. I'm just, like, kneeling like this and stuff. That's probably a stretch I should do before running, now that I'm mostly over my cold. Anyway. I mean, the perpetual cold of the city dweller. Perhaps you're better off in the suburbs from this, but like, allergies are opened up thanks to the fact that I'm gonna be living in a city with, like, 100 hot hours or something like that. There was a lot of terrifying numbers that I just realized, including possibly 6 degrees of climate change. Perhaps it seems they downplayed the data to try to make us not panic, and feel like we are completely useless and there's nothing we can do. But, well, of course there is something we can do, but that's not the time or place yet. Right now in this stream. I will talk about it in another thing for the people who are here, at some point, if you stick with me. Anyway. Well, sometimes I really want to enjoy video games, and then I learn about how the sausage is made, you know? And it kind of saps my enjoyment, because I'm like, wait, did these people get paid what they were worth? Or, like...
I think in most cases the answer is no. And you just have to compartmentalize that a little bit.
But it's just another thing that I enjoy that I realize is corrupted. That's very hard to accept for me.
It's never not been, though. That's the thing. There's always been exploitation within the industry.
Yep, that's just the way the...
It's great to shine a light on it, for sure, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's an entertainment product.
But, yeah, I'm still enjoying Halo Infinite, even though it had a trouble development, because people were allowed to take the time now. I think that should be, that unionization is absolutely the answer here. That seems to work in a lot of industries. And to benefit workers, and so the game industry should unionize. Like, that would be not the silver bullet, but it would help a lot in a very short time frame because people would be highly motivated to stay together. To not get laid off randomly. And to be like, hey, listen, if you actually keep me on for 9 years, you'll have smoother game development. Like, the reason why Suicide Squad took 9 years to make was because they kept rebooting the thing. Because they kept, like, people kept leaving. Like, when talent is retained, that's when people excel.
Plasma grenades of tick.
That's my take, anyway. I'm gonna honk my horn for anybody who wants to come in and be my machine gunner.
We're about done, anyways.
Yeah, but for the ride.
What it takes. Just not today.
Oh, defeat. That means we have to choose another mode. Goodness gracious, we are just getting defeated a lot in a row.
For some reason, I felt like I did a lot worse than I did. I was somehow second on the team, even though I really don't feel like I did well.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you lose sometimes. That's how you feel sometimes. It's totally normal. Okay, scoreboard.
Let's see what else we got. I've got time for probably one or two more. Definitely one, probably two.
I was middle of the pack. It's hard to stand out in a large mode like this. So yeah, one or two more big teams. Perhaps.
I've barely tried squad battle.
Okay,
it's
we can do
8v8.
8v8 is fine with me. That can be faster pace, so we can squeeze that out more. But yeah, like, over here, so I don't forget. The second season at the time I called my favorite, or the first season, excuse me, of Halo, I called my my show of 2022. And, well, what this means is that, well, it was really good, at least in my opinion. But, like, over time, I understand the flaws. I recommend sticking with it, because I had an enjoyable time once things started to pace out a bit better. But at the same time, I don't blame anybody for being, like, cool on it, because there's better TV out there. I'm really liking Shogun right now, for instance. That's, like, appointment viewing for me and my parents.
I've heard good things about that.
Watching across state lines. That's what brings us together on Wednesday nights now, as well as Survivor starting up again. And because we were watching Shogun at 8 o'clock that time, I had completely forgotten to record it on my Tableau with Chromecast and Google TV, which is what I have to use because Xbox's lack of app support there is annoying. But, you know, all things considered.
Sorry to interrupt. The creator of Dragon Ball died.
What?
Wow. They just broke the
Breaking news.
Yeah. At least I'm just seeing. It looks like they announced it around 10.
What was his name again?
Wow.
I haven't been involved
Akira Toriyama.
Thank you.
He was 68. He died of acute subdural hematoma. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, he actually died on March 1st, and they had a private ceremony.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's taking a bit.
Yeah. I'm a little shook by that. Oof.
Yeah, I know Dragon Ball meant a lot to you, but we haven't really talked about what Dragon Ball means to each other. But
yeah,
I'd like to go first a little bit because my impressions are very surface level. I watched them as a kid who was mostly interested in things like SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Hey Arnold, Our Real Monsters, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mindy.
Let's go.
The list goes, Dexter's Laboratory, the Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, the list goes on and on of absolutely classic cartoon shows, so I didn't really see that show, but, you know, like, that often, but I think there were reruns on Toonami, which I did see.
Oh yeah, that's where most Americans have seen
Right,
it.
yeah.
I mean, back in the day, at least, yeah.
Toonami was a cultural force, but so far has found limited success in its revival at the present. I got so hammered, everybody. Oh, sorry, I tried to
the history with Dragon Ball airing in the U.S. is it originally aired, like, syndicated, I believe. I could be getting that wrong. And I remember watching it, like, it used to air on my local Fox channel, I think, before, on, like, Sunday morning. So I'd wake up and watch it and then go to church afterwards when I was, like, 5. And then they started doing a separate dub that they aired on Toonami with different voice actors.
Oh, that's priceless.
So yeah, like Dragon Ball, I started watching that when I was like 5. So that was like 98-ish. So that's definitely a very long time fandom for me. And obviously I watched pretty much the entire Toonami run up until it ended in 03. And then they did original Dragon Ball. They dubbed that and brought it over and aired that kind of around the same time. And then they did GT. And then they stopped for a while. Then they did the movies and Super and everything and whatever's going on with it now that I haven't really kept up with. But yeah, it
I don't really have memories for clips at this point. Oh, Dragon Ball Z, but that was the one that I watched. I think it, like, it was good.
I mean, if there is one Dragon Ball thing to watch, I think that's still the thing I would point to for people.
It just was
even
my tiny mind. My tiny mind.
Yeah.
Could not.
Allies claiming the zone.
And I was overstimulated. That's probably why, like, my memories of some of the anime shows that I know I watched were just overstimulating. Like, Butt Ugly Martians from Mars was very loud and obnoxious. So I think I obliterated it from my memory until now. But I just remember. It's just like poor memory unlocked. Man, with this. It's so sad when people who create things that we love pass on, but author existence failure does not take away from their legend.
And beyond just Dragon Ball, it's infinitely involved in like Dragon Quest and a lot of other stuff.
I did not know that. That's actually very interesting.
I mean, just look at the character designs from Dragon Quest. They're the same style of design as Dragon Ball. He's been the main illustrator since that started.
I thought that was just a genre thing.
Zone lost.
Nope. That is all Toriyama. Same with Chrono Trigger. Like, he did the designs for Chrono Trigger. And Blue Dragon, the Xbox 360 RPG.
I did not know any of that.
Yep. And,
this is why you win so many trivia contests, isn't it?
I imagine the new Sandland RPG that's coming out is probably going to include a tribute to him now at some point, or maybe they might patch it in because the game's coming out very soon. No, well, I don't know if he was very involved with that game, but Sandland was like a post-Dragon Ball manga that he did for a while.
I thought there was other landmass!
I did read a bit of Sandland when it was like in the U.S. Shonen Jump back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, I never got involved.
It was just interesting. It was interesting to see a non-Dragon Ball Toriyama thing, and then he also had Dr. Slump, which was his pre-Dragon Ball manga. That's more of like a gag manga.
Right, I see.
And Dragon Ball kind of directly spun out of that as more of a serialized thing, and then it became much more grandiose as it went along. Because originally Dragon Ball was still pretty low stakes, very gag oriented, and then got a lot more serious.
Yeah, as these things tend to evolve in storytelling, especially with long-running mangas.
I mean, a lot of the crazy things in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
I fell to my death again.
Oh, a lot of the crazy twists and things in Dragon Ball Z kind of stem from the fact that Toriyama was kind of forced to keep making it, because that's just how like the manga industry was back then, and still kind of is. Like, because he had an ending for Dragon Ball where Goku gets married, and then they're like, "No, you have to keep this going," and so he decided to make Goku an alien, and that's what Dragon Ball Z started out from. That was sort of the genesis of. Because the original manga, sorry, I can nerd about this for hours, but I'll spare most of the details. But
I'm fascinated.
So Dragon Ball Z wasn't originally called Dragon Ball Z. It was just a continuation of the Dragon Ball manga. And it's only when they decided to like I think it was when they decided to like make the anime for Dragon Ball Z that they like delineated it from Dragon Ball and decided to start with Goku as an alien as the starting point for Dragon Ball Z. But in the manga, it's all just in the manga. It's all more of one continuous story.
I see. Yeah, the story got confusing after a few things. It just seems like it's very
Power weapons are here.
Super Saiyaning people into like, you know, all these proper nouns. I've dabbled. That's it.
Yeah. The other thing is, if anyone does like go back and watch the anime, I honestly don't know which one I would recommend, because there is like Dragon Ball Z Kai, which they put out a little over a decade ago, which is basically they recut and reanimated some of Dragon Ball Z, just like cutting a lot of the filler and a lot of the like shortening some of the canon stuff too, because some of it got very drawn out. So on one hand, I wouldn't not recommend that version, but I do just have my personal nostalgia for the original English dub.
Sorry, I think I'm just gonna get, me personally, because that's the thing I have the most attachment to, is Season 1 of Dragon Ball Z.
5 minutes remaining.
But at a point where I have more petty cash, like when my tax refund comes, I should probably tighten that so I don't get a refund every year and just keep my money with how inflation is going. But that's a rest of the year problem. I'll save most of it, but then like treat myself to some anime, because I'm about to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion. I may have caught a couple of Toonami episodes, but I had no understanding.
That's one I watched. That's when I watched in like middle school, and I was not ready for it.
Well, I have the complete Blu-ray.
I revisited it in college, and then I revisited it again when the Netflix dub came out like 5-ish years ago.
This Blu-ray version is the Netflix dub, though it has the original Japanese.
I would recommend that one. And I'm not caught up on the movies either. There's still the last 2 movies that I haven't seen.
Well, I'm not interested in seeing everything. I just like to feel my way through.
Definitely with Evangelion, watch the show first, and if you want to go on from that, movies are essentially just like remakes. They start off as remakes of the show and then expand on it more.
I think I'm a bit fatigued with remakes at the moment.
Yeah, but the impetus of those movies was like, because the show ended in a very I'll tiptoe around it, but like the way that the week-to-week show ended was very, very unconventional, and it was like the most divisive ending probably of any anime of all time.
Wow.
If I can get hyperbolic.
That is a very strong claim, but I believe you.
Yeah, the movie was basically started out as like, hey, let's do this again.
I'm such an idiot.
New zones are ready for capture.
Why do I keep thinking there's another platform there? I just don't understand.
Trust me, I almost did the same thing.
Okay, so I'm not going insane.
No.
I'm just readjusting to Halo anyway. So,
one more Toriyama movie. I wonder how much work he did on Dragon Quest 12, because that game's in development right now.
I know these are games
that
are of great importance to you, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear from you on that sort of thing. I would absolutely watch a bunch of videos.
Because
I'm putting this on YouTube, so this will be a good way to start out.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 12 is presumably pretty far along in development, so you have to contribute quite a bit to it.
Oh, sorry, that Warthog tried to squeeze through the barricade. That was priceless. It was a clever idea, I'll give them credit. It just wasn't designed to happen. In this particular part of the map, anyway.
The other thing with Toriyama is that he did have a lot of like, you know, he had people helping him illustrate a lot of the time and do cleanup work for him. So there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who are versed in the Toriyama style at this point. So you know, I think they can definitely find people to sort of keep his style alive for a long time. And I assume, you know, he probably consciously did that. I think a lot of people in the manga space try to have people they can fall back on for that stuff, and now it's the time where it's like, okay, well now he's gone, and there are already people, you know, he wasn't involved, for example, in like the recent Dragon Ball mangas that have been coming out. I don't believe have his involvement in any way, but they're just like, they look like Dragon Ball things, so, you know, I guess that can just keep going. The Dragon Ball machine probably won't stop.
Well,
Your team is close to total control.
there's certainly a lot of venerable history of creating things that people love. And so I can see why he will be really missed. Mr. Toriyama,
I mean, he was
a titan of
he started
anime.
he started doing it like late 70s, I think, so he'd been going for a very long time. He was pretty young when he started.
I feel like I really understand him because you have such a passionate fandom. That's the like good kind of fandom that I think we need to get back to as like a society, because people yelling about like this thing isn't realistic or it's too woke or blah blah blah. I'm tired of it. Everybody's tired of that stuff.
Can I be a little honest with you? I think you read too many internet comments, because I think you read way too many internet comments, because I blissfully avoid a lot of that stuff, and let me tell you, I think my life is better for it.
That's fair. That is very, very fair. The thing is, I have to moderate my page for others.
Yeah,
I
get that aspect. Yeah.
You do not have that problem at all. I do not blame you, nor
like,
do I
can't
disqualify you from that.
I don't know, like, I just feel like a long time ago I just, like, checked out entirely of any comment sections, and I'm just like, I don't need to hear everyone's opinion on everything.
You know what? I think that's probably what I'm gonna do, because I get more anxious reading Kotaku comment sections than I used to. I scroll the old websites looking for scraps of the old creativity that I used to love back in the 90s. Back when internet media felt alive, like it could be anything. But, well, now I have to focus on this, so that's how I not have bad comments. Okay, well that exploded, I guess. Alright, let me...
We're not out of this yet. We just got one of the hills back. Headed over with a rocket.
Nope, they have rockets too.
They have rockets too.
I mean, I was so fascinated by the history of Dragon Ball that I did not know about
sorry,
at all. No, don't be sorry at all. This is like, this is amazing.
I happened to check my phone between matches, and I'm like, oh my god, what?
Yeah, well, that was a very worthy subject to overthrow our admittedly interesting conversation about Halo, I think, because there was a lot to be mined there, but
1 minute remaining.
I learned something completely new to me that rarely happens right now, because I'm constantly researching everything in an attempt to get ahead of every possible scenario. It's exhausting, and so I will personally have to do a bunch of info dump things on an audience of live streamers who will hopefully not eat me alive. But like, well, yeah, that will have its own time and place. Here, I was like sitting rapt in rapt attention as you described the life of a very talented person who I honestly knew very little about. And
the more you know.
Yeah, exactly. And yet, I haven't heard that presented in such a fashion before. Perhaps it was because I never went looking for the sort of media that I didn't like consume. Perhaps the fan media that influenced your, knowledge of the history of such. But I have a different algorithm than you. Is that a fundamental problem with like the way the world works today? Perhaps, but here Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was back when, like, things could get popular. Like, a lot of people could enjoy things. And I bet if I wanted to,
Well,
I could get the DVD of the first season for cheap. That's about what I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
If not, they probably gave it away during the
They definitely.
month.
I'm pretty sure they have at some point one of the Xbox Anime Month things. All right. Well, we had a tie. We had a tie in that last match. So.
So do we?
What is that?
To win?
Yeah, I think I'm good with one more match. I do have to get to bed in a little bit, so let's just do one more squad battle, I guess.
The determiner of whether we lose or win. Because honestly, the tie counts for two. I want to feel victorious at something. It's not that. It's not that I mind that we lost a bunch in a row. It just means,
well, we won some here and there.
It just means we gotta get back in shape. Halo-wise.
I think we've gone like 2 for 5 or something like that. It's not terrible.
No, honestly not. But this is the determiner. We'll be like, yay, we were victorious in our last match. And we set our own standards, and then we'll let you go to bed. But, like, I would watch a whole thing about this. Like, there has to be something out there that's, like, really documentary-like about this man. But
I'm sure there is. A lot of the stuff that I just spouted off was stuff that I learned a long time ago, so I'm not even...
Oh, yeah. That's how everybody learns anything.
Yeah. But the thing I'm saying is, like, I don't 100% trust everything that I said. Who knows?
No, that's fair.
But I did used to read, like, his, weekly posts and stuff. He would do, because a lot of manga creators have, like, a back page where they write their opinions and stuff. I used to read those translated.
I see.
So he would give some insights into his work process. Yeah.
Well,
so a lot of
good.
Some of the insights I passed on were from that, and then some of them are just stuff I vaguely remember back in the day. But I haven't kept up with the Dragon Ball stuff in quite a while, since, like, the movies have been coming out. I haven't kept up with Super and whatever else is going on.
To win it, Slayer. Just kill the other player.
It's hard to process that he's gone, because now that I know more about
it's just crazy. Like, I
understand how much I owe to him.
Yeah.
Just for over 9,000 alone.
Just in terms of shonen anime, creating, like, he really helped to refine the structure of that for future shonen anime, like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are all directly,
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, very, very directly influenced.
Perhaps?
Oh, yeah. Long, drawn-out several episode long battles.
Filler.
Yeah, filler existed before Dragon Ball, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't... The genre comes with the stuff. Like, that... I'm not criticizing it for that, it's just...
And a lot of the filler I don't think he was even involved in, because that was all the TV production people that just had to stretch things out
at some point.
Because they were catching up with the manga. That's why a lot of anime filler exists, is because when they catch up too close to the manga, they need to give themselves a buffer. And so, like, hey, let's have 20 episodes of this filler arc that we just write and make up out of whole cloth.
Yeah, wow. I never considered it like that before.
Yeah. I mean, in the case of Naruto, they were literally waiting for, like, because there was like a 100-episode long stretch of filler in Naruto, because they were just waiting for the there was a time skip in the manga, and they were waiting for the manga to get far enough ahead of them to be able to start animating and know what they were going to be leading up to. So they had literally 2 years of filler.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, That
because manga produces such like a breakneck pace week to week, and then the resulting anime, in the case of like shonen that go week by week, they have to keep pace. And when they do keep pace, but then the manga takes a break, they still have to make a show, and so they decide like let's make some filler. Some of it ends up being okay, some of it ends up being terrible.
Okay, well, huh. Yeah, sorry.
There are some.
I
There are
haven't
some.
played terribly.
Oh yeah, I'm playing terrible too. There are some Dragon Ball filler arcs that are like better than like canon arcs in the show.
Huh. Well, I mean, that doesn't really compel me to watch filler because
Oh no,
I'm very Western in my
that
plot conceptions.
yeah that's why I would recommend probably Dragon Ball Kai if you were to watch one because it does cut a lot of that stuff. But again, some of the filler is great. There's the Goku gets his driver's license episode, which is genuinely like a really funny episode.
So it's just like they're Flintstoning the setting
Yeah,
in order to extend the life of it.
yeah, but there are some genuine filler arcs. Like there's an arc that takes place in like
Huh.
the afterlife, and they have like a big
What?
tournament with all these interesting characters.
That's
Because
hilarious.
Goku's dead for 7 years, and in the meantime, he's like, "Hey, there's just going to be like a tournament, like Dragon Ball always has, because they have a lot of tournament arcs too.
Oh yeah, they did do
Except this
that.
time, it's all dead people, including like villains who Goku's killed, and that's just like a fun concept for an arc. I always liked that one.
I
And again,
mean,
that's just one that was completely filler.
about the extent that I understood of the world building was that the Earth Kingdom's entire military is completely ineffective against one invader from outer space. So like, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Oh, I destroyed a banshee. Oh, but that's probably that. The thing is, I have been partially distracted by the fact that the stream appears to be lagging behind.
Ooh.
That is why I might enjoy doing GeForce Now better. Or playing a calmer game, for a bunch of reasons anyway. But, well, you know, these maps are pretty great. I'm sad that RoosterTeeth is gone, but the Halo show is good so far. It's not great. It's not the greatest show of all time, but it doesn't have to be. It's entertaining. And this first episode felt more Halo-y. I don't really know what that means entirely, and I don't know how to describe it without spoilers, so I will not. But
Okay.
But like it's worth the 30-day free trial, and that's a Game Pass perk. So you could just make a dummy account.
I was going to sit on that for a bit and redeem it before it expires to watch the rest of season 1 probably.
Well, I paid
$120
for a year of it, mostly because my friends chipped in. That deal, however, will soon be extinct. I mean, I'm gonna be paying through the nose, even with my parents' financial contributions to their extended things. This will be like after the nice $75 for a year of Netflix deal I got for them, but like they still blocked me from seeing Netflix, where I had been wanting to see Neon Genesis Evangelion on. So what to do? Well, I would like to keep my media, please, and so that's what I'm doing pretty soon. But the anime that you need to see that has changed my life. I mean, I recognize the influence of Dragon Ball Z, but well, for a variety of reasons, it's not my favorite. I don't know why. It's not a bad show at all. It just didn't leave that as much of definitely not as deep of an impression on me as it did you, and I am very much appreciative of getting a new understanding of this creator. But yeah, Violet Evergarden is the other Blu-ray that I have complete collection of, and that's because again, I got annoyed by Netflix locking me out after all that I did to help my parents save money. Okay, well, it's just the running thing. But that thruster is really useful in the new elevation map. Oh, that guy's about to explode. Well, apparently it exploded. At least I think so. I don't know. I don't know what difference that will make, but I want to feel useful in this game mode for once. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty terrible. I think I'm just at the point of exhaustion.
Yeah, I think
'Cause I did a
was
16-hour
too,
day
but
yesterday and then had to get up early this morning. Not for work, thankfully, but still.
somehow I think I'll manage to do Minecraft with my audience because like well, there's a really cool like Washington D.C. thing that I can just like calmly read the State of the Union and nerd out for an hour before bed. That I can do. But yeah, this shooting stuff is exhausting. And I will admit, I have changed my behavior. I haven't played as many shooters as I used to.
Yeah, for me, it's just the past month or so I've been just in RPG land. Like, I just finished Infinite Wealth, just started Final Fantasy Rebirth, so that's like been most of what I've been playing the past month. So this is a bit of a change of pace.
I'm in try out whatever I can to yeah, I'm starting to think that this oh, what happened?
I was I just betrayed someone by accident because I was hijacking a ghost and hit them mid hijack. But so I was just running with an overshield and got hit from behind by a ghost. So I lived through the encounter but got flung in the air.
Oh no.
And it was a bit of a jump scare. But then I was able to hijack the ghost. So
oh wow, that was amazing. And we hopefully got that on tape. Because I don't know.
I forgot. I was too busy actually shooting and playing. I didn't actually record that.
No, it's okay.
I still can, I guess.
Yeah, but like, if this doesn't work, if this download doesn't work out, which one of the downloads didn't work before from TikTok, and it got corrupted, except for the clip that I ended up using of a guy sending me 5 flowers, which amounts to 1 cent. I currently have, or no, maybe I gained 3 cents. I currently have 5 cents in my balance on TikTok.
High roller.
I know, right? I'm gonna go play the slots in Vegas. But no. Sadly, I don't think I'll make making much money from
There's a wraith right there.
Oh, I got run over.
Yeah, I saw you running towards us. Okay, we won. Good.
Narrow victory, but a good one nonetheless.
And I did nothing positive to contribute there, but that's all right.
You know what? I'll call that okay. I did okay. I was terrible, but I'm gonna tell myself I did okay because everything is telling me that everything is terrible, and I would like to be okay. So we did okay! Yay! We had a victory at the end there.
Yeah, I think we won about half our matches. It's not so bad.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think honestly, if we play anything other than Sea of Thieves, it should just be us because the xCloud is really bad. I'm gonna try and see if maybe GeForce Now can do cross compatibility for some of these things a bit better. But well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream. This has been great, everybody. But I think I'm tired. So I may switch to a different game or may just decide to call it a night. Anyway,
and by the way, I don't know exactly when I'll be on next. I would probably say maybe Saturday if you're around. I don't know if that's
Saturday.
A good day for you.
That's gonna be dependent.
Okay.
I may be having someone over. I will let you know.
If not Saturday, then I forget what my work schedule is next week, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Sure.
All right.
Well,
I'll call it a night here then.
Sad again that Toriyama is dead, but it was good to learn about him from you. You have a good night.
Yeah. All right. See ya. Have a good night.
All right. Bye.